What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Andre King coming at you today, and there's one question in particular that I often get from many of you out there, and that's when it comes to Palo Alto, like where can you go for training? And that's not to say a loaded question, but like to be quite honest, each of us kind of learns in a little bit different way. But the one place or the one resource that I always suggest, at least if you haven't heard of it, is actually Palo Alto's Learning Center. But if you take a look here on the screen, you can actually see on paloaltonetworks.com/services/education. This is what the page will look like, and you can definitely sign up for a login. And the two areas really that we're going to focus on is kind of the digital learning. This again, not the instructor-led training, and then the certification. So we'll open this up in a new tab as well as the digital learning. And so, like I said, if you don't have an account already, just go ahead and sign up. It's definitely free. But we'll take a step back real quick. Like I said, I know I like to digress a lot on this channel. But if you've been following, I think what's this now, August 31st? It felt like earlier this month, maybe late last month. I know Celestio knows the date he passed his PCNSE right on time. But they have kind of changed their portfolio certification. You see here going more towards this platform type that has kind of sub technologies within it. So underneath the network security, we can see here there's the foundational, professional, and specialist. So there's no longer going to be a PCN, SE, or even SA, I believe. You're going to have to take this next generation firewall engineer or network security analyst to kind of get that. If we go to security operations, these are kind of where those specialists, when you start hearing about XOR, XDR, these different types. And then, of course, cloud security, not much right now, just the apprentice practitioner professional. But I see the future maybe with some additional services that this catalog will most likely grow. So if we go to like say network security and we go to next generation firewall engineer, the cool thing about it, if we click learn more, we'll see here some high level details about this exam, the target audience, kind of like not a big fan of job titles or roles, but if this is kind of in your wheelhouse or you're aiming to get there, it's kind of provides you that high level overview of whether you're kind of in the right bounds. The recommended training, these are both instructor led, and then, of course, the resources handbook and this FAQ. But if we come to download data sheet, and that's on any of these, we'll see here if we zoom in just a wee bit. This was updated actually this month. Then you'll see kind of a more detailed view of what the exam really entails, the duration, the cost, the format, which is, I don't know if it's 100%, but almost always multiple choice. And really the blueprint, especially, if you're with other vendors like Cisco, etc. This is kind of where I always want to see the more detailed to know, hey, it's 40% of this exam is going to be on these topics and subtopics. Not to say you focus everything there, but you got to make sure that, almost half the pool of questions that are going to come from there that you really understand the concepts that are there. Panel S network configuration 38%. So just these two topics, 78%, a little bit over three-quarters of the exam, and then bringing up the rear integration and automation that we're seeing in almost every type of provider out there. But if you click here, this learning path, this is actually going to take us to where we're at. We're already logged in. And this is where, again, there's so many opportunities that are free. This used to be called something else. Again, comment down below if you remember about 2-ish years ago when they changed the name. But we see here, these are different kind of playlists. 2 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. If we keep scrolling, we see this Palo Alto's certified cloud security professionals got 10 hours. This seems to be a specialist specific, just shy of 2 hours. And, you can search on those different things if you prepare for an exam. You can there learn about a product and, so Different things here. We come to network security because we were looking at that firewall engineer. Then we come here, and of course, there's always the search bar there. This is where now we go away from the 2 hour, 5 hour, 8 hour, 10 hour playlist to you can see here now 30 hours and 13 minutes when it comes to learning about the Palo Alto firewall and all of the elements and services and features there within. So again, definitely suggest that this is just a good place to start if you don't have like, any idea of where to go. The paid platforms, the INEs, the CBT Nuggets, A Cloud Guru, which I think folded underneath someone else, you know, start here with what's free and typically what's provided by the vendor. But we see high level decryption is going to be, if we look at the syllabus, we see there's going to be 14 lessons, 3 sections. Wish they would break that down. Well, there's the breakdown there. So again, not too different from what you would see like on a CBT Nuggets, different things to kind of see the high level bucket and then those sub buckets or subsections for what's contained within that feature. And then if you just simply click on enroll, you'll get this prompt here, not started, start learning now. And you can just click that and then go ahead and get started. But highly, highly suggest just at least starting here, giving it a shout out there. And then one other thing, if we go to O'Reilly, Safari, been a fan of theirs for well over 10 years, being overseas. They used to not have a lot of Palo Alto. That's one thing when you get the playlist, the videos, I won't say passive or static, but unless you pause and type along with them, we're consuming that content in a different kind of way. Typically, like I said, everyone's different. But some of us like to actually read books, whether it's Audible or ebooks or the physical books here. But we see here 2019 Master in Palo Alto. That's a video series actually from Renee Cardona. And these two books here, 2023, I actually have, I don't know if it's the second or third edition actually up there on the bookshelf. But this is a great book. Like I said, I have the physical copy. I probably maybe a third of the way, especially when I had a flight to Vegas. I gave this one a big crack. ACI, the guys over there, do a great job. This is again another video playlist. Um, but so you don't see, again, still you don't see too many books here. And then if we get away from the firewall, Prisma, XOR, those different. So this is a Prisma Access. This is actually a book. Pretty cool. 2024. So, like I said, lately, the last few years, they at least, of course, very, very far behind Cisco Press, but, not to compare vendors or anything like that. But these are valid questions on like what material, what resources to use, because you typically a lot of us come from a certain vendor. We start with Juniper, we start with Cisco, we start with, Palo or, some product line. And then we get to an environment where now they don't use Cisco anymore. So I won't say, well, you kind of forced to learn or to be receptive of learning it. But again, that's where you then say, where's these resources outside of the handbooks, the basic. But this is again goes back, and I know I'm gonna wrap this one up here 'cause I'm starting to digress. But I know the video topic is about this, but yet and still, one of the biggest things that I always try to harp in many in our field as we grow a little bit is the fundamentals. They carry over so much, and that's the thing. If you go down one train for 6, 7, it doesn't even matter the number of years, and you get tunnel vision there, but you don't really have the grasp of the fundamentals. That's why it's typically a shock to go to the environment that's using another vendor or whatnot, is because once you know routing, like true routing, true switching, I'm not going to say it's just a matter of the syntax, but the semantics, 90 plus percent are still the same. It's just, whether Cisco had a lot of proprietary type of protocols, but there were always, or they typically were, open standards type of protocols as well. So if you understood, the fundamentals or the open standards, like it will be way easier, and I won't say almost too easy, to recognize and understand those differences and then to apply it. And like I always say, start more with how are things alike as opposed to how are they different. And 9 times out of 10, that knocks down some hurdles or some barriers to our hesitancy to learning a new topic. But again, like I said, let me get back on topic here. So I would say definitely this is a great resource to just, worst case, to just come get familiar with what these offerings are and to just poke around. You don't have to finish any of these, etc., but just to start and to just see how you like it and then just grow and go from there. But like I said, let me know down in the comments if, this made any sense or if you've been using it for a while. If there's a certain course title or topic that you just love or that you think, Palo Alto can kind of offer more. I know I'm sure, got their ears open to the community. Us as consumers and as users, they should be open to feedback, both positive and negative. So I want to thank each and every one of you out there always for rocking in here with me today. And until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Peace.